I think it's good from a technology perspective that net neutrality has maintained its new level of wider awareness. In 5 years of the Barack Obama administration, unilaterally ruling from the executive branch without Congress over and over and over again, the one issue that actually got a Congressional Review Act up and running was net neutrality. It's still maintaining its higher profile status because it's been added to the list of demands by the House Republicans in exchange for a continuing resolution. That's a very good thing. Okay, we'll fund your government at a certain level that you want, provided you dump your net neutrality rules. I think that is a interesting development and a quantifiable success for the issue and the free market technological perspective. Obviously, with net neutrality, we can take a little bit of solace in the fact that it's high enough on the threshold of attention in the Congress that it gets thrown in on a list of negotiating items on the continuing resolution for the budget, debt ceiling, all that stuff. That's good. Spectrum policy and the spectrum auctions already on the radar in Congress. Why? Because they're going to get money out of it. That's the quickest way to get to Congress's attention, is find any way to offset the $1 trillion a year deficits we're having. And the big debate on that is whether or not and how much or how many stipulations and picking and choosing the FCC should do, setting up the rules for the auction. So what the FCC should not be doing is picking winners and losers, or picking losers at the expense of winners in actuality, of saying, okay, for this swath of spectrum, you can't bid, you can't bid, you can't bid. It's an auction. It should be free to everybody. You get a paddle, you go in, you wave it around, and if you're the last one waving it at the end of any particular block of spectrum auction, it's yours, and you pay the piper and you move on down the road. From a market, getting it to market perspective, from maximizing money for the government perspective, just let it go in and let it go out unfettered with any set-asides or stipulations or any of that. As we've seen with net neutrality, as we've seen with this potential insertion of themselves into the spectrum auction, they seem to want to micromanage everything. That is an ongoing problem. Gigi Sohn from Public Knowledge had a very ominous sounding quote on a couple different venues where she said the FCC needs to reassert its relevance. My definition of relevance tells me that if you have to reassert it, you aren't relevant. One of my favorite movie lines of all time, Clint Eastwood, a man's got to know his limitations. Well, so does an agency. And they've got to realize they have a set, finite area of authority and rule-making authority and power, and they must remain within those confines. And if the market has raced past them, if the free market has outgrown them, that doesn't mean you create new things for it to do, busy work. It doesn't mean they create work for themselves. What it means is perhaps it's time to look at the usefulness of the technological equivalent of the horse buggy whip industry.